was the mix of intricate guitar playing paired with thongs that felt full. What's up, my fellow troubadours? This is not a lesson, it's a story. 5 artists and songs that made me fall in love with solo acoustic guitar. They showed me that all you really need is a voice and 6 strings. Making this video actually made me think about what draws us to solo acoustic in the first place. For me, it's the simplicity, knowing you don't need a band or a bunch of gear. You can carry the whole song yourself. And that thrill of walking into a room or onto a stage and being able to hold people's attention with just your guitar and your voice. And it's the intimacy, the way every breath, every small choice connects directly with people listening. To be honest, it was really hard just narrowing it down to 5 artists. There were so many who inspired me, but these are the ones that truly changed the way I saw the guitar when I was younger and learning how to play. I'll share a piece of each, and I'd love to hear who inspired you down in the comments. Before we dive in, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and click the bell so that you receive notifications. It really helps this channel. And if you want to support, there's links where you could join my Patreon or buy me a coffee. And if you want my complete list of solo acoustic songs that I've played in thousands of solo acoustic gigs, grab the free PDF. There's a link right down below in the description. Okay, let's get going. This list is in no particular order. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Susan, the plans they made put an end to you. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. You all know that classic song. I'd heard it my whole life growing up as a kid in the 80s, but it didn't really hit me until years later in the 90s. I was coming home from school one day and my mom was watching this program on Channel 13. On the screen was this long-haired, alternative-looking guy who to me at the time looked just like Kurt Cobain. But it wasn't Kurt Cobain, it was a young James Taylor. He was just sitting there, hunched over his guitar, mic'd up, playing Fire and Rain, and it just floored me. The way he could sit there and carry this entire song with just his guitar and his voice and a microphone sitting in front of him, playing and singing so effortlessly together. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced at that point. I was already playing guitar and getting halfway decent, but I couldn't do that. Then again, maybe I still can't do that. But that is what lit the fire for me. And I can't believe I almost take this for granted now, but it was his unique fingerstyle that really stuck with me all these years. That was the cornerstone of the way I wanted to learn. The way James Taylor approached fingerpicking, so fluid, so integrated with his singing, and so damn hard. That's what made me want to play fingerstyle in the first place. And it's still at the heart of how I play today. That's what hooked me way back then, and it's been part of my journey ever since. Down. We all know this song, maybe one of the most iconic acoustic songs of all time. Of course, we're talking about Bob Dylan and Blowin' in the Wind. You know, that guy from the movie. My apologies for playing it in the wrong key. I couldn't find my D harmonica anywhere, so I played it in C. What Dylan showed me was that it's not about technical flash on the guitar. It's not even about having a so-called perfect voice. Though for the record, I love Bob Dylan's voice. And that's the thing that I think many solo acoustic players miss. They get so fixated on notes and execution and technical stuff, and yeah, that stuff does matter, but the real power is in how you deliver the story, your phrasing, the way you lean into a lyric. That's where a lot of the magic lives, especially with Dylan. Because your voice by itself can certainly move people, and your fingers on the guitar by themselves can also move people, but when they're combined in the right way, they're larger than the sum of their parts. Something like synergy. I think that's what drives us troubadours to pursue this whole endeavor. To make that voice and that guitar combination something bigger than either one could be by itself. Now that's probably a subject for another video all on its own, but Dylan was definitely one of the ones who drove it home for me. That solo acoustic playing is about more than just playing a song. It's about telling a story in a way that people can feel and relate. If you want to go a little deeper on Dylan, I've actually done a couple of videos where I break down some of his essential tunes and just share some of my favorite Dylan songs to play at solo acoustic gigs, and I'll link those down below. I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I have squandered my resistance. La la la. That is The Boxer by Paul Simon, specifically Simon & Garfunkel in this case. One of my favorite Paul Simon pieces. What he brought to solo acoustic was the mix of intricate guitar playing paired with songs that felt universal, songs that connected with people immediately and have lasted for generations. And what a unique guitar style that he had. And with Paul Simon, you could sit there and fingerpick something like I just did with The Boxer and be transfixed by all the detail, or you can do something like, I don't know, Mrs. Robinson. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. I mean, he really has different flavors in it, not to mention if you go into his stuff where he's not with Simon & Garfunkel on his own. Paul Simon could keep you busy for a lifetime. And his music is so universally known, you could always play it at a gig or at a party or just around the house with friends, and people will always know it and love it. There's many reasons why I love Paul Simon. And hey, he's from Queens, just like me. Maybe it's something in the water, I don't know. For me, Paul Simon was proof that acoustic guitar wasn't locked into one role. You could do fingerpicking, strumming, and of course, all while telling great stories and having great sing-alongs. He did it all, and that versatility became something I wanted to build into my own playing. Now, if only I could write a song like him. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you receive notifications of my future videos. And if you want to take your playing or your singing or your gigging to the next level and you want a little one-on-one consultation or help, feel free to send me an email to set that up. There are links to my email down in the description. Next up, we've got Old Man by Neil Young. And that's one of Neil Young's most powerful songs. What struck me about Neil Young was he proved that acoustic guitar doesn't have to mean soft or delicate. It could have grit, it could have edge, and it can carry enormous weight. And the other thing, it grooved. That steady strum, the way he locks in with his vocal phrasing, it's hypnotic. It showed me that even with just an acoustic guitar, you can create a rhythm that carries the whole song and pulls people in. And his voice would like almost sound like it was gonna break up a little bit, right? And the guitar sound was a little rough around the edges, but instead of hiding that, he just leaned into it. And it's what made it hit so hard. It was real. You don't go to Neil Young for polish, you go for truth. So for me, Neil Young was a reminder that solo acoustic doesn't have to be polished necessarily to connect. Not that his playing isn't really excellent, of course it is. In fact, the rawness and the groove are part of the power. It gave me permission to embrace my own rough edges, to not worry about being perfect necessarily, but to focus on being true and honest. And sometimes that's where the deepest emotions come through. Got me on my knees. course, we're talking about Eric Clapton. But specifically, I'm talking about the unplugged Eric Clapton. And I've got to be honest, I know some of you might think of me as a young whippersnapper, but this was actually my introduction to Eric Clapton in the 90s when he went on MTV Unplugged. Not Cream, not Derek and the Dominoes, it was Unplugged. And for me, that album was the moment that I realized just about anything could be reframed or reinterpreted on the acoustic guitar. He took one of the most iconic electric rock songs of all time, stripped it down, rebuilt it, and made it even bigger than the original in some ways. Same song, same soul, but now it lived in a different space. And speaking of Clapton, the way you could just take an acoustic guitar and do something like further on down the road, someone gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, someone gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, you just wait and see. So that whole Eric Clapton Unplugged made me dig down into other areas that I might not have gone into. So it wasn't just the Eric Clapton Unplugged itself, it's what it opened me up to as far as the guitar and the acoustic guitar and what it could do. The acoustic guitar is folk, it's rock, it's blues, it's ballads. You could play it all. The acoustic guitar can carry any style if you bring the right approach and the right feel. And Clapton proved that you could sit down with an acoustic, unplug, and still shake the world. So those are the 5 artists and songs that really made me fall in love with solo acoustic guitar. Honestly, I could have picked 20 more. There are so many that shaped the way I play. But these were the ones that truly changed how I saw the guitar, and that's why I shared them with you here today. Now, I would love to hear from you. Who are the artists and songs that lit the fire for you? Drop them down in the comments, because your list might inspire somebody else watching this to pick up the guitar and start their own journey. So thanks for sticking around and being part of this community. If you'd like to support what I'm doing here, you could join my Patreon for exclusive content, buy me a coffee, or use my Amazon and Sweetwater affiliate links down below when you're doing your shopping for gear. And of course, feel free to reach out if you'd like to book a one-on-one consultation. I'm Frank Persico, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.